It's Madden NFL 23, and this one will feature Kendall Fuller, who's been stepping up to challenges all season, now at 8 interceptions. It's the Commanders and the Steelers on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Commanders. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. And, CD, you look at Washington coming into play here. They've got to be thinking, hey, we've got a good chance to be successful here running the football.
No doubt about that, because that has to be their mindset. It should be their mindset. This is one of the better rushing offenses in the league, and they're squaring off against a team that's not at all strong on the other side of the ball. So this could be one where we see this offense try to impose their will through the trenches, and in fact, they should.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their third-year quarterback.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw 1 touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that. The win last time.
Looking to throw right away, Pickett. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
A situation they'll certainly want to avoid going forward. An early second and long they're facing. A first carry for Najee Harris. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. So from second and long, now we go to third and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing. Because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they thought that they were just going to run it inside. But you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space. And that's exactly what he does to the tune of a first down.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on first and second down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up second and 12. Pickett will look to throw it here. Pressure comes, and down he goes. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack. They'll make that a second sack here on their first drive out defensively, and have to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they got to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
Pickett and the Steelers in need of a big play here. 3rd and long after the sack. They'll set up to throw. Pickett lost it, and it's Washington that scoops it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
So here's Washington now in excellent field position to start things out. They'll be led out by the former number 3 overall pick back in 2021. It's Trey Lance.
And I think if you ask most folks to give you their first half MVP, very likely they're going to say it's this man right here. The NFL's leader in touchdown passes to this point in the season. Still 2 months to go. But if he can keep going to the pace he's at, this is going to be a dangerous team come January, and he could very well walk away with the MVP.
Now a first carry here for Robinson. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the 19-yard line.
2nd down and a run by Robinson. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. And Lance going to throw.
3rd and 6.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Excellent work there by Lance as he scrambles for the first down.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. And now they'll throw with Lance. He'll check that down to Gibson out of the backfield. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
And that's a great job of tackling right there. If he could have made the first man miss, maybe he could have taken it into the end zone. Instead, they stopped him pretty well right in his tracks. And you often see that in the red zone. Offense has to be quick. In this case, the defense was quicker.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Now Lance throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation. Robinson diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown. So it's a pretty good season he's putting together running the football. That now 10 rushing touchdowns on the year.
And we know this is a passing league, and those numbers throwing the football, they seem to go up and up every year. But there's still something to have a reliable back you can count on in the red zone to bring things home for you. And that's what he's been doing all season long.
The extra point attempt to follow here. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead. That time a 6-play drive. And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because to me, This ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
Pickett, and that will be incomplete. On fourth down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Set to go again. Here's Brian Robinson, the Commander offense. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Lance. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a 1st down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Throwing now is Lance. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. Robinson will try to pick it up. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. This offense, #1 in the NFL in picking up 1st downs, and their run game got him another one there.
A really good stat to lead the league in, isn't it? Because if you keep picking up 1st downs, sustaining drives, that means you're controlling the football, controlling the clock, and letting your defense rest on the sidelines.
Back to Robinson now on 1st down. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. So, Charles, offensively, this group really playing at a high level. 7-0. We're still a long ways from discussing a potential unbeaten season, I think. But to use a golf expression, no blemishes on the card, at least to this point.
Yeah, unlike my teenage years where there were blemishes everywhere and the dermatologist was on speed dial. But I do think that they're going to have to start answering questions about this.
He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. Jahan Dotson. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Commanders are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Point after, right down the middle, and it's now 14-0. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it was Jahan Dotson with a touchdown catch to finish things off. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend, but you think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here?
Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up, and the difference between taking time off following a win versus doing so on a 3-game losing streak, that's absolutely huge, because they may come back if they lose this game to a facility, and there may be new faces in there and some teammates lost. You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed 1st down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Pickett now on 1st down. They're going for Hamler, but this is intercepted. picked by Kendall Fuller. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
So here is Washington now to take over. They've got the lead right now, and remember, they are riding that very impressive 7-game winning streak, trying to push it to 8. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Here's Lance to throw it. Flushed out right. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
Well, that's a nice job right there. He's looking downfield, but with no one open, he takes off and tries to run for it. He gets to the sidelines and gets out of bounds with a 1st down.
Robinson up the middle. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Tackled at the 21-yard line.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Lance. Throw right side complete to Dotson. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
From the gun, it's Lance. Firing quickly here, and it's a fumble. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, my friend, this has certainly been a comedy of errors here in the 1st quarter. Neither side able to really hang on to the ball.
Yeah, now I'm just curious to see which team can adjust because both have made their mistakes, as you said.
Yeah, and whoever can do that can seize firm control of this game, something they haven't done with the ball so far.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Back to the ground with Robinson, and he will take it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. And the Commanders have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Well, still in the 1st quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 21-0. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was capped off by the touchdown run from Brian Robinson. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the 1st as they kick this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
Now a give, running left is Harris. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. A look at the numbers for Harris in last week's game. 16 carries, 102 yards.
Just an excellent performance from them on the ground last week, and that speaks to an offense that is operating at a high level on all fronts. Of course, that man running the ball, he's just seeing the field so well.
Pickett in trouble, and down he goes. The sack by the linebacker, Jamin Davis. But he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks are starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Pickett and the Steelers in need of a big play here. 3rd and long after the sack. Back to throw here. And that is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Hardman on the return. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Here comes the Commanders' offense back onto the field. But Charles, they're really stringing these possessions and scores together early. We're still in the first quarter, but if they can score again here, look out.
Yeah, and as you taught me when we're broadcasting games, one word we're supposed to avoid, and that's blowout. But that's exactly what's going on here. Down 3 possessions just the first quarter. That goes beyond any worst-case scenario we might have thought coming into this game. And another touchdown here, that should eliminate any hopes for any type of a comeback.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 21-0 our score after 1. Second quarter now. Robinson, he'll try the left side. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. Second and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little...
On 2nd and 11 now. Lance steps away to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
Throwing his Lance on 3rd down. And he finds McLaurin. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. 40 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Lance looking to throw it. It's Williams on the catch. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection.
Handoff now to Robinson. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. It's a first down for Washington on a pickup of 11.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
To throw again on 2nd down.
Lance, he'll dump that off to Gibson, complete.
This offense so far on 3rd down, no problems to this point. A perfect 5 for 5. Here it's 3rd and 3.
And Lance now to throw.
And Ingram holds it in.
And the Commanders are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
This offense continues to be a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores, and knocking on the door again on drive number 4. Robinson is into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. It's not too often that you say, hey, this one's going to be over by halftime. And CD, I know our bosses probably don't want us to say that because they don't want people clicking away, but this one might be over by halftime.
And since you already put your job on the line by actually saying it, I will co-sign and go with you because you're my partner. We don't mean to do it, but this game has been exactly as you've described. I see no hope for them going forward.
Extra point attempt to come here. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So that drive, 12 plays in length.
And it was capped off by the touchdown run from Brian Robinson. Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And, Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead.
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Jamin Davis. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
Brian Robinson Jr. making his way back onto the field.
And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
To throw, it's Lance.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 3-yard line.
They'll try and run. This is Robinson. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Robinson again, and he takes it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr.
on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns.
And the Commanders continue to pull away here in this first half. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in the end zone. That's how they demoralize teams. That's how they put them on notice.
Extra point right down the middle. And a rout is on here in this first half. So that drive, 4 plays.
And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Pickett. It's Najee Harris now on back-to-back plays with a catch.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 2nd down.
Pickett now to throw off the play fake.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't...
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Here's Presley Harvin now.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt. 3-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over.
And the Washington offense going back to work. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow, and I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
Again, it's Robinson. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Here's Lance. And that's caught inside the 35. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 32-yard line. That's good for 28 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make the play on the football.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
There to stop him, Terrell Edmunds. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Looking to throw. Lance looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 17-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting...
And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Holding offense.
So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
Operating from the gun. Lance. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end.
And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
A gain of 7 brings up 2nd down.
Throwing again on 2nd down.
Lance. Target is to Dotson, and he's got him. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. Now Lance again. He's going to have the first down and more than that. And the Commanders are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Well, we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered, but how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal.
They'll run with Robinson, and he's in. Touchdown, Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Commanders have taken a 6-touchdown lead. And that is what you call lowering the boom down near the goal line. He was going to force his way in no matter what.
They always talk about low man wins when it comes to the offensive line, having the leverage to move the defenders. It's strong man wins when it comes to tackling in the red zone. And if you happen to be the low man and the strong man, that's a huge win.
Point after, right down the middle. And it is 42-0. That time, a 9-play drive.
And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. And now out come the Steelers.
The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
Here's Johnson with a reception. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
First and 10, here's Pickett. Finds Pickens out right. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down.
Pickett And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Dialing up another pass here. Pickett. And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young.
What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
On is Presley Harvin now as he'll send this one away.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
Yeah, he said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll.
On first down, Lance.
Escaping, and he is not going to get away. The rush was too strong, and this is going to wind up a safety.
The goal was to score just before the break, but I'm not sure that a safety was how they expected to do it. But give the defenders credit. They saw how the series was starting out, and I think it increased their intensity. This was their chance to make a huge play before the half, and all they needed was one play to get it done.
One more drive here for the Steeler offense in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And he got blown up on that play, back at the 20. So that one a disaster, a big loss there with second down coming up.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Washington, they continue to cruise as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign.
And they will hit the road next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they're going to get an